Deanna, what will voters and Georgians remember about Congressman Scott?
I mean, Congressman Scott was a titan for Georgia, and he really looked out for our agriculture community, which is really important, and veterans. And one thing I could say, he knew how to get some appropriations money back to this state, and that's very remarkable, and I appreciate him for the things that he did. I have a short story to tell. Former Senator Jeff Mullis told me about his first year in getting elected to the Senate, which was David Scott's last year from there. And he was the rules chairman. He gave a $100 donation to his congressional campaign, and he was set that whole entire session. So just to know that Congressman Scott knew how to work with bipartisan everyone, and he didn't, it didn't matter what side of the aisle you were on, he would work with you if you presented good bills. So.
And that's what people say, and so many of these remembrances point to his longevity in office and his willingness to buck his party sometimes and vote his conscience, vote his state, and agree and work with others across the aisle. Maria, for Georgia Democrats, this is somebody who was a stalwart in your party for decades. What will Georgia Democrats in particular view as Congressman Scott's legacy?
I think his legacy of service is one to be remembered. I mean, he was deeply known in the community for hosting health fairs and job fairs as well. Things that were so critical, because not only did he understand that he needed to go and do all of the legislative work, but he also understood that you needed to be on the ground and working with people, like we were saying, one-on-one.
And we've got about 30 seconds left, but I'd be remiss if we didn't ask this, Deanna, to close it out. When you talk about 50 years in service in the state of Georgia, just share a little bit about how much change the congressman saw in our state, in our politics, in our country.
I mean, gosh, 2002 is when he first started in Congress, and he was served at the state level prior to that. So being elected in the 70s to, 2026 and seeing how much we've evolved, even with technology, social media, TV, and even looking at how funding for campaigns has changed, right? I couldn't imagine they were spending millions back in the 70s, how we are now. So I could imagine that's been something he can share a lot of information with. I hope he kept a journal of it.
So much change that voters got to see along the way, but if you are in elected office, you're seeing it right in the eye of the hurricane sometimes, and he saw all of it for 50 years.